Sure, Simpsons is still going on at this point, but
Yeah,
Futurama comes around.
right.
And now with this project, you you actually you develop some of these characters that ended up on the show. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
I worked with Matt Groening to develop the characters. There's I can see little parts of the characters sometimes that I go, oh, I added that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, generally they're really Matt.
Mm-hmm.
At least 95 to 100% Matt Groening on all the original cast. Basically, what I've always felt my job was to sort of act as a catalyst to to get Matt going.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way it started was I was working at Bongo, so I'm working for Matt Groening because as the owner of the publishing rights, he is the publisher of Bongo,
Mm-hmm.
of everything we did at Bongo. So I'm working for him, and he came in one day and he said, "Hey, I'm working on this new show, and I was wondering if maybe you could come over to my studio, like in the evening, a couple of nights a week, and help me visualize the characters."
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I said yes, and went over to the studio. And I remember I think the first night, he gave me a couple of sentences, just written sentences about Fry and Leela. And it was as simple as Leela is an alien. At the time, she was an alien, not a mutant. So it was like Leela is an alien who knows martial arts and lives in the future, and possible love interest for Fry.
Mm-hmm.
And so like as simple as that. And then Fry was like delivery boy, cryogenically frozen, who wakes up in 1,000 years in the future, and he's still a delivery boy, but for a galactic version of FedEx. It's like, okay. So I just started drawing, like what I thought those characters might look like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and he mentioned Leela was a Cyclops. So I know all the early drawings, she just had one eye. Um, but, different hairstyles, different, body types, body shapes. Um, I think, early on, Fry looked maybe a little more like a teenage Bart Simpson.
Okay.
Bender was also, probably within the first week I was working on Bender. And originally Bender was the Planet Express ship cook. So like his only function was he was in the galley of the ship. And whenever they were on the ship making deliveries, he would serve up the meals.
Okay.
And they were always inedible to humans. They were always like motor oil based, and they would have gears and, stuff that only a robot could eat.
Yeah.
So that was going to be like the running gag. And I remember originally Matt said, he's kind of like Homer, maybe he's a little stupid, et cetera, et cetera. So I just started doing a lot of drawings and showing them to Matt. And then he would look at my stuff and go, that's not really what I was thinking, but I kind of like this part,
Mm-hmm.
And then he would do a drawing. He would do a drawing based on my drawing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would take that and I would do like a refined version of that. And we would do that, multiple times with the same character. So ultimately, they really look, they're really almost 100% Matt's designs. But I always take pride in the fact that Matt really initially didn't know what they should look like. So he needed somebody to sort of show him
Yeah.
what he didn't want
Spark.
to make him realize what he did want. Mostly.
Yeah.
And then later, in the development process, I started actually doing designs for the show, things that actually made